I'd like to add regarding the ASDR, a very important point is that we work in partnership with the private sector. We subsidize 30% of the project. 70% of the funds are funded by the private sector. We have a different way to work. We are partners and we work together with the promoter. A second important thing to compare us with our colleagues is that we sell the homes. So once the home is finished, a private developer will then take over, or a private owner will take over. It's important to underline because we worked in such a way that we could convince real estate that passive was feasible, that it was interesting, and that sustainable development was not just the fruit of a dream of a few people within the cabinet, but that instead it was worth looking at a much broader context. So this is the picture I took of our first sustainable development neighborhood at a time when sustainable development wasn't much talked about. It wasn't yet a whole neighborhood, but in 2004 we bought this land. We built all those low-energy homes that all consume less than 30 kilowatt per hour, and it took us 6 years to get all the right licenses, the building licenses and so on. And from this project, we saw that two promoters on the Brussels market really believed in sustainable development. So we were able to start the project of exemplary building in 2007. And so when it started, we were ready. We always worked with different promoters. The previous promoter was carried out with a different promoter, and this one was carried out with a DPI. And we're very proud of it because they believed in it. We had to convince the developer, the studies office, and in 2007 we adopted a charter for sustainable development with our board. So we clearly set the line we would follow, the sustainable development to be followed in Brussels. And in 2009, all of our homes were passive. So, as Grégoire was saying, the energy aspect is not that interesting in itself. It's easy to attain. The technical aspects are much more complex. So we continued working on all the other aspects, the materials, the mobility, the management of waters, of rainwaters. And today we are finally going to receive 5 offers for a huge project of sustainable neighborhoods where about 450 buildings will be built, 450 accommodation. And all these aspects have been included. Once again, in order not to arouse jealousy, what's more important? To work on rainwater, to work on mobility, to work on materials? Well, thanks to the experience we gathered through PassREG, through the support of all the stakeholders, we imposed a maximum limit in all aspects. For example, for used waters, for rainwaters, to just quote this very example, they have to manage the whole thing. We don't, there is no discussion. All developers play on an equal footing when focusing on the urban and architectural aspects on this project. For me, it's obvious to build passive, so I forget to mention that all of the buildings will be passive. We're talking about nurseries, we're talking about shops, homes, and we also wanted 35%, this is the rate we imposed, 35% of buildings would have to be a zero energy building.